on that interview. It'll be ready when it's ready.
I thought the IG was the end of this month.
So maybe it's the end of the month.
And then
they keep pushing it back.
Yeah.
As always, right? Well, let's start with Bill Barr because we got a lot to get through, and it's already 20 minutes after the hour here. So, Derek, let's go to track 2. And this is the beginning of the interview with Attorney General William Barr, and Bill Hemmer is asking a little bit general questions about it. Let's go ahead and play that.
The thing that's interesting about this is that this was handled at a very senior level of these departments. It wasn't handled in the ordinary way that investigations or counterintelligence activities are conducted. It was sort of an ad hoc small group, and most of these people are no longer with the FBI or the CIA or the other agencies involved.
This appears to run deep. Why is it so hard to figure out?
Well, there are two things here. One, no one's really looked at it. I think there's a misconception out there that we know a lot about what happened. The fact of the matter is, Bob Mueller did not look at the government's activities. He was looking at whether or not the Trump campaign had conspired with the Russians. But he was not going back and looking at the counterintelligence program. And we have a number of investigations underway that touch upon it, the main one being the Office of Inspector General that's looking at the FISA warrants. But as far as I'm aware, no one has really looked across the whole waterfront.
So you came into this job and you started asking questions. Did you get any answers?
Well, I thought when I came in from the outside that all the questions that I had and many other people had that would be readily answered once I got in, but I haven't found that to be the case.
You also said back in April that you thought there was spying going on in the Trump campaign. When do you think that started?
Well, I'm not going to speculate about when it started. We're going to find out when it started.
It's been said that it was July of 2016. Does that sound right to you?
Again, I don't want to speculate. What I will say is that I've been trying to get answers to questions, and I found that a lot of the answers have been inadequate. And I've also found that some of the explanations I've gotten don't hang together. So in a sense, I have more questions today than I did when I first started.
Some of what things don't hang together?
Some of the explanations of what occurred.
Why does that matter?
Well, because I think people have to find out what the government was doing during that period. If we're worried about foreign influence, for the very same reason, we should be worried about whether government officials abuse their power and put their thumb on the scale. And so I'm not saying that happened, but I'm saying that we have to look at that.
Can you say when Bob Mueller knew there was no collusion with Russia?
No, I couldn't say that.
No date given?
No, I couldn't say when he knew.
You'd have to be a mind reader to know when he knew, you know.
Well, he also says, I can't say.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean
he doesn't
want to say.
Yeah.
It means he can't say,
yeah.
right?
Given him, the more I get in, the more I have more questions because I ask somebody, they go, hum on, and they go like, oh, okay, you're hiding something.
The questions are there, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? And to go back to your point earlier, if the big three, Comey, Brennan, and Clapper, are all involved, somebody higher than them.
Oh, heck yeah. You don't do that on your own.
Yeah. So we've got some. Your buddy Donna is calling into the show. Donna, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, Donna. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I heard you talking about social studies. I was on my way home from shopping.
Yeah, well, from being in that business that there is some bias in the social study programming at school. And my son felt that when he was in class not so long ago. And so Ed wants to make sure that he gets hold of you so that we can get your story in to the newspaper.
Do you get the Current?
No.
Why not?
Well, is that something that's...
All right. Give Derek your phone number. I'll give you a call later, okay?
Okay. We left it with Derek. So
okay, great.
Okay.
Our number.
All right.
All right, Donna. Well, thanks for all you do and staying
Did she have
there.
any comment on the social study?
Well, get them out of public school.
There you go.
Because it is bias, and the whole thing with the global warming thing, because I teach science, and our science curriculum comes from the University of California, Berkeley, And even in the book, they contradict each other because on one page, I'm going through the Earth's timeline from beginning to end and the warming and cooling cyclical fluctuations. And on the next page, it's talking about how it's all man-made. So I don't believe in it, and I'm telling the kids this.
Yeah.
But
yeah, how could it be man-made if we've only been here for the last, 50,000 years?
Yeah.
And we didn't have an industrial revolution until 300 years ago,
Right.
maybe? Really?
But a couple years ago, I did have a parent jump down my throat because I wasn't on board with the global warming.
Yeah.
So if my principal says anything, I'm just going to tell them, look, I'm not going to lie to these kids. It's saying this right in the book, but then on the next page it's saying it's all man-made. So
Right.
I'm not going to lie to the kids.
Right,
That's
exactly,
good.
because carbon levels were higher at what? The Carboniferous era, the Cretaceous era, all those different eras, CO2 levels were higher. We weren't here. We weren't industrialized. We weren't making that. We weren't causing that. How does the heat and the carbon happen back then?
Right.
You know what I mean? Stop blaming them. I'm not saying we don't contribute in some fashion.
Well,
We're certainly
Krakatoa
not the
sure
demand.
contributed. You know?
There you go.
Yeah.
Mount St. Helens. Right. All right, Don, I appreciate it. Take care.
All right, give me a call then.
All right,
All right,
will do.
thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Let's take a call from Joe, who wants to talk about the Trump-Russia investigation. Joe, welcome to the show.
Oh, he's going to
Well,
change
you
our
know,
subject.
there were lots of buffalo back then, so obviously it was buffalo farts. I mean, come on. We all know that many of these people committed crimes. I mean, it's obvious, but what worries me is there enough actual physical evidence around, and anybody of these deep state liberals who will actually step up and turn and deal honestly to help convict. Will there be enough actual evidence to convict in a court of law? Plus, the other thing is, how do you ensure you don't have a bunch of liberal activists? You only have so many challenges off the juries, like remember happened in New Jersey with Menendez. Clear evidence to convict and hung jury to let them off because they packed it with liberal activist jurists.
You're such a party crasher,
Yeah,
man. That's
well-
why you don't get invited anywhere, Joe.
And that's why you get that's why you get the tinfoil hat. People are kind of saying, hey, they're going to do military tribunals. I don't believe any of that's going to happen. Boy, I wish it would happen, but no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, a military tribunal, there would be a chance.
A chance. That's
at
it, really.
least honest hearings and convictions. Yep.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, we'll just have to. I believe there is evidence, and I think that's one of the reasons why Hillary went so far to destroy those 33,000 emails, to destroy the computers, the servers, the phones. I think there is evidence out there.
Sometimes lack of evidence is evidence.
Well, there you go. So let's.
Right. Well, that's evidence of enough of at least obstruction. You would
Exactly.
think we should be able to send her to prison for that, at least.
Yeah. Well, she should put some time in.
Well, actually, you put the screws to her so she gives up Obama.
Yeah, which she would probably do.
Oh, in a
because
heartbeat.
I highly doubt that.
But
she's
Bill
good
would give
friends.
her up.
My biggest fear here is that they will make Page and Strzok the scapegoats, sacrifice them, and everybody else walks.
Yeah, I
Just to say, hey, we drained the swamp. when we
Sometimes
did.
you do that just for political expediency because you know what happened to our prestige after Watergate and Nixon was disgraced. We all know Obama's a disgrace, but boy, if he got brought down on charges, I mean, what does that do to America's image in the world?
I don't know. I'm
I don't
not
know,
sure it
but
would
I'm
affect
sorry
us
there-
anymore because Trump has done such a good job. Now, of course, the globalists don't like him, and the Western Europeans don't like him. But oddly enough, all the good people that I care about in the world, the Hungarians, the Poles, they seem to be doing well. All right, Joe. Well, I appreciate the call.
All right, keep playing sound bites of Democrats. No one is above the law.
You got it. All right. We'll
See you, Joe.
And
Bye-bye.
you'll catch a drift. We'll see you on the other side.
People are always headed somewhere. How do they keep up on the latest news and information? They listen to Wham just like you. If you have a product or business to advertise, your message can reach these listeners wherever they are. People tune to Wham Radio for the latest issues, discussed by hosts like Thayrone X, Steve Gruber, and Joe Pags. Call 734-971-1600 today and advertise with Wham Radio, 1600 AM, 92.7 FM. You'd be insane to be anyplace else.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. When it comes to producing college graduates, one Democratic presidential hopeful says the U.S. is lagging behind.
The United States of America used to be number one in terms of the percentage of young Americans with college degrees. Today we are number 11, behind countries like South Korea, Japan, Canada, Ireland, the United Kingdom, and Australia. And that, to me, is not acceptable.
Bernie Sanders addressing a town hall on education in Orangeburg, South Carolina. The feds having second thoughts about moving illegal immigrants around the country to ease congestion along the southern border.
The plan was to fly up to 1,000 migrants a month to northern and coastal cities, including 2 Florida counties, Palm Beach and Broward County. Late Friday, that plan was put on hold.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin, Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, among those opposed to the plan. This is Fox News.
Your bridge to recovery.
Hey guys, this is Keith from Lewis Jewelers, and if you're in search of the perfect engagement ring or a beautiful piece of jewelry, it will never be easier. Our team of expert advisors, Libby, Sarah, Lucinda, Carrie, and KC, just to name a few, are all non-commissioned and solely focused on your needs. Okay, really on her needs. So visit us today for a truly stress-free shopping experience. We look forward to making her smile. Where Ann Arbor gets engaged, Lewis Jewelers.
Hey there, friends and neighbors. I'm Radio John D., inviting you to listen to The Greasy Skillet. Together we'll explore the 2 lanes, back roads, wagon ruts, and dog trots, always searching for the forgotten and overlooked roots music of America and beyond. Tune in. You'll be glad you did. I'll be glad you did. We'll all be glad. And please, tell a friend or two.
The Greasy Skillet, Saturday nights at 8 on Wham, 1600 AM and 92.7 FM.
Your bridge to recovery and wellness is WellBridge. WellBridge is redefining the rehabilitation and nursing care experience with the most amazing care facilities you've ever seen. All WellBridge locations offer a resort-like atmosphere, and their driving goal is to provide each guest with an epic experience. Here's former patient Chris Tangeman from Howell.
I had back surgery. I had to go there for like 3 or 4 weeks, and let me tell you, they were just superb. I'm in this industry. I'm an LPN, and I mean, they're just excellent. The aides, the nurses, everybody. I thought especially that their therapy department was just phenomenal, and I would absolutely recommend WellBridge.
For rehabilitation and nursing care, ask for something epic. Ask for WellBridge. In Brighton, Fenton, Novi, and Pinckney. Now looking for talented nurses and certified nurse assistants to join their growing team, WellBridge invites everyone to learn more about them at thewellbridgegroup.com. WellBridge, your bridge to recovery and wellness starts here.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift in studio with Ipsy Ed Bonderenka.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. We're doing good. We got through half an hour very quick, didn't it?
Yes, it went very quick.
All right, well, let's take care of a little business. Losing a loved one affects the entire family. If you've got somebody who's sick or terminal, don't wait. Make sure you're spending a little time, or even for yourself, look far enough ahead down the road that you don't want your family suffering when you are passing or a loved one is passing. Boric Jennings Funeral Homes has a great program. They're not just a funeral home. They do a lot of nice programs that can get you ready, get your family ready, and be ready when the time comes. 810-231-0200. That's 810-231-0200. Or you can visit their website, Boric, B-O-R-E-K, Jennings, Jennings,